teacher that is serious about liberatory education, every teacher that feels that way should absolutely be reading this book. Just the first 4 chapters that I've read so far really laid out very clearly is that even though we might feel like it's wild that so many teachers are MAGA, that is fully aligned with what the goal for education was by the government, particularly with respect to Black and Native American children in this country. Wake of emancipation, the white people who advocated for educating Black people were quick to say, we're not trying to say they're equal to us. They still need to be respectful. And there was a lot of fear that Black people were going to want to retaliate on the white people who had held them hostage, who had enslaved them. And so a lot of education was created in this idea of we need to make sure that they don't want to get us back. Sure, you can see how that is resonating through history still. And like, that is why I think this is such an important book and why I'm committed to finishing it, even though it is a hard read. It's a hard read because it hits and you're like, damn. But it's such a necessary read and it's very well written. Me and my friend Eva, Black on Black Ed, we're actually planning on going live and going it chapter by chapter, starting in late March. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you're following us both. And I'll be putting more details out about that once we get closer to the date. But yeah, like, teachers being MAGA absolutely is aligned with how education has always been done in this country, which is why liberatory education matters so much. Is why when you walk in a classroom, and you are choosing to see the best in your students, you are choosing to see their humanity, you are choosing to find avenues for them to have an on-ramp into your subject. I'm a science person. So on-ramps into science, even though they are not traditionally seen as belonging in there, it matters. It is a revolutionary act. It is a radical act. I think understanding that is important, because when you understand that, then you are no longer so easily thrown when people are out of pocket, because you're like, oh, yeah, I understand where this is coming from. You are no longer so thrown or wedded to the structures that are already in place within education that keep the status quo, that keep inequality baked into the system. You are more willing to step outside of that bubble and do what needs to be done in your classroom. I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not. Having support helps a whole hell of a lot. Having people who have done it helps a whole hell of a lot. If you're a science teacher and you need that support, you need to talk to me. You need to come work with me. Holla at me. We can get started. If you're not, there are plenty of people doing this work. Liberatory pedagogy matters because the basis of education is this, like, based on the same things that MAGA wants. And understanding that is super duper duper important. If you would like to grab a copy of this book, I have a link to it in my profile if you go to like my bookshop link. And like I said, I will be posting details on, like, basically, I guess, a book club that we're going to be doing with this when we get closer to it starting. And yeah, stay curious, y'all.